Here is your Friday real-life stock review. Enjoy.
Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's your boy Jeremy Alexander Newsome with reallifetrading.com. Trust you're doing tremendously, stupendously, serendipitously wonderful. We got ourselves the SPY on the board. Not much happened today, realistically. I mean, we did have a nice little bounce off of some support. You know, trend looks nice. You know, we had a good bullish trend, so a dip buy makes a lot of sense. Today was a pretty trappy day out there in the market, and what I mean by that is just realistically a lot of traps were getting placed. So here's the exact low of the day. So notice, you know, as this support in here, nice little support, low of the day, came down, a bunch of people shorted, it ran higher, came back down, people probably shorted, it went higher, came back down, a bunch of people probably shorted, it went higher. So you just had that, you know, just a lot of traps. If you're playing low of the day breaks, there's market close. If you're playing low of the day breaks or high of the day breaks, you know, just really didn't look all that pretty. And anyway, if you play the SPY bearish, that is. You know, if you went long, awesome. Great stuff, well done. That's what I was talking about yesterday in the trading room around this part right here. It was just a good long spot. And you can see a little bit of buying right there coming into market close. Simply because you had, well, today, you know, it is an option expiration Friday, but overall the SPY looking nice. We got 1 penny away from getting stopped out on our weekly options newsletter trade that we set up this week. Hopefully AMD bounces a little bit. I don't think I've gotten 1 penny away from getting stopped out on an option trade in a long time. Speaking of weekly options, most of you probably will remember we had the free week just last week, and I did send out a weekly options newsletter to every single person who is a member of Real Life Trading, and this was the article. Here it was, the weekly options newsletter, and this particular trade, this was a trade set up on Starbucks SBUX, and if we hop over here to the good old SBUX, we can actually see a really decent grind higher. So that particular trade is still working really nicely. In fact, most likely Monday, I will be looking to get out of those calls. March 1st, 66 calls, got in for 250. Right now they're about 405. The target realistically is about 485, but we'll see if it just slowly keeps creeping higher. Stop now from 150 is at 160. And I like the new all-time high on Starbucks. I like the little pennant pattern that we got the last 2 or 3 days. I like the pop, so that was very nice. Speaking of the free week, we're also in still on this bullish trade on MKC. So this was a trade that was set up. We actually set this one up on the 28th of January, the very first day of the free week. Got filled on the 29th. And I was talking about this one yesterday, kind of comical because we could have gotten in, sold for about an R, and then got right back in 2 days later and sold for another R. So anyway, just kind of funny that some of those trades work multiple times. But MKC, just a really nice fade with that gap down. Good closing candle. Probably be getting out of that one relatively soon. So those are some winners. Here's one that's not really going that great is NIO. Most likely going to be increasing the stop loss on that one right below the lower shadow of NIO. Here's ICLK, iClick, and this one just slowly creeping higher. Volume pretty small in this one, but if and when it can break out above the high of this high wave candle, that should be pretty delicious. Had some stocks that were requested for today, so let me go ahead and get those pulled up. Give me about 4 seconds to get that thing listed. All right, so I had a request for Activision Blizzard, ATVI, and Activision earnings are right around the corner. I'm interested to see what happens on Activision. Here are my thoughts. Beautiful pennant pattern, phenomenal bearish gap and go, and if we get a gap up on Activision, that really could be a deliriously delightful bullish play because you would have tons of bearish traders trapped. So keep an eye out for that just to see if it does actually transpire. If we gap down, I don't see much stopping Activision until we get down to maybe the 100 simple moving average on a monthly chart. I'm not saying we will get down that low, But I have a lot of traders and friends who are looking at slowly, adding some positions, buying low, selling high. The stock does pay annual dividends, I believe, and just tiptoeing into a position on Activision Blizzard. It was a massive, massive run up from 2013 to 2018. And so now we're just taking the elevator down, going lower, and there'll be some good times, I think, to kind of slowly test the waters and kind of start tiptoeing into Activision Blizzard. But if we gap up on earnings, I think that really will be a great precipice to continue higher. Other stock that got requested was TTWO, Take-Two Interactive, very similar industry. And Take-Two Interactive does look like it's going to try to fade. You had a phenomenal bearish gap on the 6th of February that we talked about and we kind of discussed. A lot of people played that one all kinds of different ways. Bullish, bearish, it was really just a beautiful blend. Tons of volume came in on that gap down. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart, now we have the end of the week. A lot of people are asking, is Take-Two a head and shoulders pattern? Well, I mean, with that volume, that candle, and that location, it's about as close as it's going to get. It did not close below the neckline, so this could be a really good trap. I think it's going to be all about Activision's earnings right around the corner to see if this is a beautiful bear trap for Take-Two Interactive bears and we actually end up going higher, or if there's more reason to take a pause. I would love to share with you some beautiful analysis that we had on EA Sports. It's in the game. Here's EA Sports up 16% today alone. Apex Legends is out. And let me go back in time in the afternoon room. Remember, all of you had access to hop into the afternoon room after last week. Last week was entirely free. This was the analysis that we did on Electronic Arts just 3 days ago. All right, EA Sports, it's in the game. EA Sports also decent little bearish gap down today. Super small candle on Electronic Arts. High wave candle, almost makes me think of a 5-minute chart. It's a great gap down, bullish high wave candle. And I'm really kind of going to watch it tomorrow as well for a potential rollover. I'm going to draw support right here, let it trade sideways for a little bit, and then see if it breaks down. So EA, we're going to look at, I'll be putting on my list tomorrow morning and looking at it tomorrow afternoon. And we'll see if maybe we swing trade that one or day trade it, I don't know, but it looks cute. We can also go long, by the way. I'm not scared. I'll go bullish. Let me see if it closed outside the bottom Bollinger Band. Ooh, Betsy, it sure did. White candle closing outside the bottom Bollinger Band. Oh, long play. I will look for that as well. I'm going to look for both, a long play and a short play. 100% neutral on EA Sports. It's in the game. I should get paid to do that. All right, next on the list is Visa. Ticker symbol V. I'm just looking at this one from my boy, Michael. I say 3 days ago. I mean, that was, Wednesday, however long 3 days ago was, I don't know. But Wednesday, just a beautiful bracket trade. Gorgeous move. You can see that we were looking at going long on EA. Had a wonderful gap today. Apex Legends, plus the gap down, plus the high wave bullish candle, plus that Bollinger Band analysis, the exact same analysis we did on MKC, was the cause and the reason for Electronic Arts just to start screaming. So if you're not in right now, I would just simply say look to buy the dip, because short term it looks quite pretty. Next stock that was requested was Micron Technology, ticker symbol MU. MU's a fun one. It's just going to hang out for a while. That's really what it's going to do. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart, it traded into the 100 simple on a weekly. You had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white candles in a row, and this is where all the newbies started buying it after they got confirmation that this was the time to go bullish. Traded into the 100 simple, moving on a weekly, got a little bit of a pause, got a high wave candle. We have this 46 covered call for April, got some protective puts, really interesting, super fun, kind of diagonal type of collar on Micron technology. Here is the daily chart. So what's it going to do from here? I think this is a nice, comfortable retest. Similar to AMD, if it's going to bounce, this is where, right? Nice little retracement. This is a place to start washing to go long on Micron, or if anything, just bullish to neutral, which I think that's my favorite play on Micron. Not necessarily long, just bullish to neutral, maybe with some put sales or owning some shares a little bit longer term, but feel free to watch it bounce off that 20. Here's ticker symbol APHA that was requested, and this is an alternative harvesting stock, aka weed. And this is the daily chart on APHA. You had a very beautiful breakout back here in late January. Very gorgeous candle pattern. Here's the weekly chart, and like most stocks, it's up pretty much unquestionably since the 24th of December. Nice move, and what you gotta be looking at at this stage is probably a support resistance around here on APHA. Most stocks are a little bit on the high side at the present moment in time, so we'll see if this one can slowly peel back and give it a little bit of a dip buying opportunity. You do have an inside day bearish candle today with a high wave candle yesterday on this particular stock. So watch it to trade sideways. You got the pop. Here's the sideways move. Keep an eye on it to trade sideways 2 or 3 days, and if that bad boy breaks out, rocket higher from there. Last but not least was another stock that was requested. Here's ticker symbol Intel, INTC, and my buddy Brad has himself a $45 put sale on Intel, although I think he bought to close that one. I can't remember. But here's your long-term moving averages. Long-term moving averages look good. This thing's just trading sideways. Intel, it's very choppy. It really does just slowly pitter-patter around. Gorgeous bounce off the long-term moving average on a weekly chart, though. That looks nice. And if we go back to the daily, just really kind of cute, crisp, sideways. If I have an hourly chart, I mean, hourly chart doesn't look bad. So it looks more bullish than bearish, but kind of like in a bullish to neutral scenario to me. If I was playing this on an hourly chart, I'd probably buy it at 48.76, stop down here at 48, and see if it can give me one of these little moves right here. This is actually the second Friday in a row that we played Amazon in the trading, the morning trading room. This one, yes, last week we played Amazon during the free week with a Iron Condor, and we did it again today. 15.55, 50, 15.52.50, and 15.90, 15.92.50 for 50 cents, expiring today on Amazon. And this was the analysis on it. Actually also play this one directionally. So it was here's the daily chart. Amazon, 3 bearish candles in a row, gapping down, beautiful gap, pretty much unquestionably, very nice gap. Here's the 5-minute chart. And what I was looking at is 5-minute time frame, first 5 candles were bearish. And let me bring over the Slack channel, bring that over here. All right, here's Slack. And what I'll do is just kind of scroll up so you can see my thoughts initially this morning when we were looking at getting into Amazon. All right here. So 8:56 a.m. So again, you can kind of see that S-curve pattern. Boom, boom, boom. Bunch of bearish candles in a row, including pre-market. I think you got like 8 or 9. This was a morning star reversal on a retest gap on Amazon, down 2 and almost 3% at that particular point in time. Actually, yeah, 2.17, I can see right here. 2.17% on Amazon. The market wasn't down that hard. Amazon was kind of like a leader on the down list for that particular session. So just decided to go long, and pretty much once it made a new high, it exited 10% and then got out of the rest somewhere on this bearish candle for a 0.6R gain. Nothing crazy. But when it rotated back down, I was like, hey guys, let's get into a spread. 15.55, 50, 15.52.50. So at that point in time, that was 20 points away on Amazon for 25 cents, not bad. And then when it rotated up again, said, hey, let's get into a bear call spread. So once it hit that resistance and started rolling over a little bit, we did the 15.90 and 52.92.50, completing the Iron Condor, requiring no additional margin. And my boy Jerry and I think Gustavo and Kevin and a few other traders. Kelvin was looking at that trade. So here's my boy Jerry. Excited about that. Nice Condor on Amazon. I love when Amazon gaps on Fridays. Amazon gaps on Fridays, I'm watching for those credit spreads to take place. Really just when it starts trading down low, getting into a bull put spread, when it trades up to resistance, getting into a bear call spread. Worked last Friday, worked this Friday, and that's good for almost a full R. So almost a full R on the spreads, 0.6 Rs on the day trade. Your boy Newsome has a hot streak right now. He's on fire. Let's see if we keep it up. I am traveling internationally starting tomorrow morning, heading to Fernie, Canada for the week. So that's where I will be broadcasting next week, doing a little bit of a snowboarding trip with one of my mates from Australia. It's going to be fire. Actually, it's going to be snow. I love it. You guys rock. I'll see you next week. And until then, love life, and trade. Bye.